map itself.
Yeah, and now going to the last 3 games here of Group A, right? Earlier we were talking about tag. We wanted to see them being able to step up. I know we have a team from Pakistan as well that, I mean, we want them to see step it up because they just have such a passionate fan base back at home. I want you to tell me a team that you're going to be looking at, especially this next 3 matches, to either continue to be consistent the way they have been, or that you might see some fluctuation on their performances.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see Paradox Gaming. Currently, they're the bottom of the leaderboard right now, but at some point, we've seen the aggression as well from their regional. So it's something that they can bring to the table a little bit early this time instead of waiting for the second day. And also, some of the consistency that we've seen from DRS Gaming, because the Real Soldiers Gaming is one of those that we didn't expect really show up the first time in EWC, first time in global in terms of a Free Fire competitive scene, and they're really doing well. I don't know if this is the full extent of their performance or they're just still biding and waiting for the opportunity to bring the fire on.
I mean, they just got to put themselves in that position where they can actually just claw at that booyah like Burram United Esports was able to do on that last one. Wasana was one of the players that I know Conchita really wanted to see them being able to step up in their performance and actually perform for their squad. Is there any player or any 2 players that in the next 3 matches you're going to be keeping a close eye on because you want them to impact the game in a positive way for their team?
Yeah, one thing I'm really looking at, especially if Wasana is involved, you have Get High in there. Get High with a combination of Wasana would be really aggressive on their tip-top shape. And also Moshi in there, like staying in the back lines. Depending on the map though, if we go into a map wherein it's like favoring the snipers, we might see Moshi and Jonah pull away, try double sniper, or just get information in the early parts of the game, and then just leave the opportunity for Wasana as well as Get High to go for those elimination. And one signature that I keep seeing from Burram United is once they get that knock, they pull out the launch pad and jump straight into the battle.
We have a lot of viewers that might be watching Free Fire for their first time. If you are one of those viewers, please let us know on social media. Use the hashtag EWC, use the hashtag EWC26. I want you to explain to the new viewers that are watching Free Fire for the first time about that launch pad, because I absolutely love it, as we're just being absolutely sidetracked here by a dancing, is that a dancing bull or a dancing cow?
Dancing bull. And I love the energy.
Yes.
I really love the energy on the stage right now. And
is that Fluxo? I can't tell.
Yeah, it is. It is,
right? I'm like, I have glasses on and I can't tell if it's like, you guys playing like three more games, okay? Your group is gonna be coming up. Hopefully you guys brought the drums, you brought that Brazilian energy, because we've seen it so far with Loud, but I know once we go into Group B, we wanna see Fluxo bring it.
Oh yeah, I mean, great potential for the team right now. And a great revenge storyline coming from them, because from what we've said, from what we've seen as well, there's a lot of disappointing run, and it was caused by these couple of champions that we have in front of us right now. So I love to see. It's a good thing as well, it's a very different group, because they won't have to meet them on the get-go.
They're just waiting to see each other on the finals or survival, which honestly, if you're Evos, if you're Burram, it's not going to be looking like you're going to be going to survival. If they keep playing like this, consistency, you might as well just put it in their middle name, because these squads have been very consistent. But I think it's time we start the second half of Group A. Let's send it over to AJ, Tash Bunny.
Honestly, insane seeing what's going on ground. We have so many people here. We have mascots on the ground as well. And we're already halfway through the first group.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm very sure that the fans out there are excited to see their teams perform out here on the battles. But it is definitely a big question mark for some of the squads, right? You look at Paradox Gaming, you look at how they're doing out there so far. I feel like the gunfights in Purgatory were so much better, but they're still having their first day jitters full on. I want to see a little bit of an improvement as we head on into this game number 4.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about, you know, you have how much space to really just warm up that engine, get yourself into the groove of the game. But as we go into the day, yes, 2 days, but already for Group A, we're halfway through. 3 more maps to go before they go on a break for the rest of the day and then come back tomorrow. But then again, playing catch-up against these teams is not going to be easy.
Locally, for Paradox, this is one of their better maps. So this could just be exactly what turns their fate around here on day 1. You don't really want to be depending on day 2 to find that recovery back into the competition. And you sure as hell don't want to be at the bottom 2 spots, because that is straight up relegation tomorrow if that is where you're going to end the day on. But as we head on into game number 4, it's time for some Next Terra.
Next Terra is interesting. There's just so many different bits and bobs parts of this maps. Oh, how he's gonna go. And on top of that as well, we are still seeing, I think, somewhat of a hot drop here. Looking here, we have PDX, I think, toward the Deca Square with another team. I'm not too sure. I can't really see who exactly is that. I believe it's DRS.
Russia leading the leaderboard right now with elimination. 16 points personally delivered by the Super Sniper, the Wonder Kid. Still the Wonder Kid. And I think nobody else is going to be taking away the title from him. No one else has shown the kind of determination, the kind of hunger, as well as the performance that Russia has shown us ever since he stepped onto a stage like this. But Loud, once again, looking to do exactly that as they play a little bit of Clash Squad up against Falcons.
There's a lot of things going on over there as well. You see On Fire reposition himself a little bit more further forward, keeping his head down here because there's a lot of pressure that they're putting onto him as well. His teammates aren't super close as well. So if anything, he's just buying a bit of time, but his teammates, I think, shouldn't be a problem to bring him back into the game if he does go down fairly early. But if anything, the best case scenario for Falcons, well, you steal away 1 more kill before you get knocked down here. But BCP is tracking him right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess it's not a full-on Clash Squad battle because Falcons, most of them out of this Rust Down area. The rotations are coming on through, and it looks like Loud wants that big flank to find the extra point off of the Falcon player. We'll catch up with them later on as Buriram spots out Demon's Pride, top 16, about to be tagged up. Jonah has got the M24 in hand, just no angles to work off of it just yet. Gun Dynasty, on the other hand, with a very early reset, at least pulling back 1 player back in here, and with a phenomenal flank. On Fire finally taken out of position there. AGAL, 1 player down on the ground. The battle between them and Gun Dynasty does not end well here for Gun Dynasty. The recovery definitely needed once again, and Benel is on the case.
Yeah, in this situation here in AGL, they've always been so proactive with these early fights as well. Already 5 eliminations here. Saifa once more. Rahat is on the other end waiting as TEC already in such a precarious position, but his teammates able to be brought back into the game, but Nejat goes down to PDX.
Oh, Team Apex Gaming. Extra point for them, baby, if they can pick this up. Thrill of Battle popped perfectly, and a timely Thrill of Battle leads to Wolven picking up that extra point. But here comes Demon's Pride. They want the fight. They take this jump straight to the vending machine. Instant revival, but Madara sacrifices himself for that pick. Jazzy comes in for the save, picking up his buddy. No extra revivals needed. TAG, Team Apex Gaming, didn't finish those players off just yet. Catch a quick replay here in the middle of a very important battle for Team Apex Gaming. But it looks like they'll call for a little bit of a truce for the time being.
Yeah, just now, I think a lot of things are going on in that situation. I think they got cornered, if you ask me. Now, as we look at the main fight that's currently going here, TAG is still chasing the heck out of GP. Have Jazzy already knocked down as well. And I have to say, TAG doing a great job just cornering their prey, making sure that they can't reposition.
Almost got a little bit messy there. And obviously, the recovery was going to be important, and that's exactly what Team Apex Gaming finds for themselves. Buriram, they saw a player step into the compound of the Indian squad just moments ago. And as I say that, Wolven takes him right off the board. Get IXL is there though, and it looks like Buriram's taking a full-on fight up against the Indian squad. Team Apex Gaming might be in a little bit of a trouble here. Katie God brings Wolven right back in off screen, and Loud spotting out Gun Dynasty, who is looking for the recovery in this game. I don't know if or not they're ready for the battle. 1 player from the side of TEC is going to be stuck in this compound as well. It's going to get messy for them if they can't find the recovery for themselves.
Yeah, you UAV is out as well. Should give away the position.
Waka
tried to get that. I think tried to just jump and see if he can get some info, but he got tagged. If anything, in this situation here, Kutush might be in trouble next. And I have to say, Benel doing a great job of marking every single enemy around the area. Nothing gets away from this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. They play the Moko really well. And he had the M82B and the SKS as well. Great attention from that long range and the advantage taken. And KD God keeping the Indian squad still in the game with the double revive. Buriram trickled in one after the other, finding Team Apex Gaming. But the Indian squad could not take these giants out. 3-time world champs for a good reason. They're just ramping up very slowly here, not showing their aggressive side just yet, Buriram.
I can see it, how active the map is right now. Loud's getting a few pickoffs as well. I'm sure DRS as well, while everything has been going on here. In this situation, I think...
No, KD God, just a wrong spot. Ran straight in at Buriram. No binoculars, no extra information out in the open. Just got spent. And now Falcons fighting the players of Gun Dynasty. Gun Dynasty's just had a rough run in this lobby this time round. Nextera's just not their place. Limit will find one from afar. David 444 found as well. The players of Gun Dynasty flanked all around, and it's the Falcons swooping on in. The Birds of Prey looking for a meal. And Gun Dynasty is just that fill.
Yeah, and Shairu is stuck outside the zone as well. What are you going to do here? You have to find a different way into the area. And Falcons wants, they desperately really want that one extra point. It almost feels like they just are playing with a vengeance. Now, in this situation here, GD looking good with 6 points already. Shairu still managing to stay alive. And right now, if we were to look at the leaderboard here, EVOS has looking really good right now. They have a huge lead compared to the rest of the teams. And in terms of, I would say, positioning right now, they're looking, I think, fairly alive. If anything, throughout the entirety of this day, EVOS has been doing well in terms of positioning, in terms of looking for pickoffs, in terms of looking for fights as well. And I don't think this is going to change anytime soon.
Of course, Nextera has always given us a lot of eliminations thanks to the number of vending machines, compounds that you can use for cover, not having to use up all of your glue walls too early in the matchup. And we're going to see quite a number of survivors again. As I say that, the Rail Soldiers pulling in a double revive. Yet again, extra coins. Takuri making sure he brings back the 2 revives first. So great strategy played by him before he got caught out there. Unfortunate that he could not go in for that final revive. So 2 players down for the side of DRS once again.
AGL is really scary. If you think you've managed to shake them off, there's just really a false sense of security before finally being taken out. He's done his due diligence though. He brought his teammates back into the game, and I think bringing them back into the game poses a big threat to so many of these teams. Now, in this particular area where the Falcons was, you could see just now they were really looking for Jazzy. He's still very much alive, but they have to be very, very aware that Loud is close by somewhere in the wing. So this could potentially be a 2-way fight. Is looking really good right now.
Rough run for Demon's Pride. The Pride definitely taking a hit here on day 1. Still down at the very bottom of our leaderboard, which is 10 points to their side. David 444 down on the ground. Instant pickup there, and the recovery is solid for Gun Dynasty. But they have been challenged all throughout this lobby. The only luck they have now is they're dealing with DRS, and they've got the numbers advantage in this battle as well.
Really trying to find this bounty as well as really settle it down as well as Alu tries to put a little bit of space away from GD. If he's able to maybe isolate this fight, buy a bit of time, so Strox will be able to give him a bit of, I would think, support. That'll be really good. Now, the Falcons finally ran toe-to-toe against Loud. BZP forced to move away here as the Falcons finally rally back. They have a nice high ground to play with. Over on the other side here, gonna cook up that nade, throw it forward, but I'm gonna think it's gonna be going a little bit too wide as BZP is just so quick on that reposition.
Yeah, that was a blind nade there. No Moko for the advantage. Good time turner for BZP. Has got the double barrel, but the Valiant dash is bursting through him. Extra bit of confidence off of the electrical therapy that Cassie provided them. Limit those straight down to the ground. Recovery is not going to be impossible here, but they're going up against one of the best Brazilian squads. Loud can shut them down, and that's exactly what Nyx does. M10-14 perfection on fire taken down. Karoro shut down as well. Loud making a lot of noise, but Pina's there for the save. But the pickups have to be the focus here. And Falcons surviving this one. Guaca too far away to back up the rest of his brothers, and Falcons will survive because of that.
I am loving the fact that Falcons really doubled down on this, and then Denrick as well, just stuck in the corner, trying his best to survive. But Buram United, they're saying no. So as much as you want to survive, it's not going to happen. We will dig you out of that hole if we have to. Gets one more point to their name, and now they're going to go and find a different way into the area. This mid-side area in terms of rotations here, southern side, EVOS has control of this area. Toward the western side, you have PDX is sort of moving around the area. Northern side, Aurora, but middle side here, you have, I think, GD and AGL forward, and TAG just busting forward, looking for this fight eagerly.
Just with that game 3, Buriram has jumped into the top 3 already. Now you see the Moko tagging up the players on the side of Team Apex Gaming. This is a little bit of a pinch. AGAL focus fire, but Team Apex Gaming very smartly repositioning, just staying away from the crosshairs of both AGAL as well as Gun Dynasty. A sticky situation here for the Indian squad for sure.
But they're not really showing their hand either. They're just really hoping to weather down that storm, because no team can really get too close to one another for these forward fights. Pina, somewhere along the lines there, does find Sturwax eventually. Alu running forward. They're almost taking down on fire, but regardless of that, would have been traded. So now the Blue Zone comes through here. Kiroro should be brought back into the game, as Loud is slowly trying to recalibrate themselves.
Recalibrate indeed. The double revive coming on through. Full squad once again for the Brazilian squad. Loud have been loud from the start. Very consistent to keep themselves in the top 4. But they have to make sure they play a little bit of recovery here. And Nyx is going to have his foot shot off. Abax with a sharp shot from afar. AC80 perfection once again. And yet again, the Brazilian squad on the back foot. This is just not their lobby. Recovery seems to be really difficult. And that's exactly what Nextera is. Lots of spots to hide away at. And we have got a ton of squads. So many players still alive and kicking as we approach the 12 minutes.
Yeah, Alu is not going to be able to hit the ground there. Gonna just get knocked down so quickly. His teammate did try to give a bit of pressure there onto Buram United. Not happening though. You know, like you mentioned, Moshi just so superb on the snipers.
Oh yeah. I'm showing that, yes, we were ramping it up slow, but nothing impossible for us to catch up with. Russia, though, right below the bridge like a troll, up against Falcons, but gonna get caught all alone here. On fire, making the rotation. Russia, can you survive this one? What kind of trickery will you show us? It's Gun Dynasty that takes advantage of that chaos! And the follow-up is solid. EVOS with the revenge. The players on the side of Paradox taking advantage of the situation as well. Denrique is going to get picked right back up. And Falcons off of that rotation put themselves under the bridge, losing 2 players in that sequence.
In this situation, EVOS as well, trying to take away this positioning coming in from Aurora, but cannot able to come close to them at all. And EVOS is very, very patient here, trying to find an opening, an angle, anything, but also aware that Loud is close by. One moment your head is out there in the open, it's going to be instantly popped, and that's how it is for both of these teams here. And it's sort of a momentary stalemate between these 3 teams. You have to worry about PDX as well. You also see that they're trying to rush away from the area as On Fire tries to put in the damage.
See if Not On Fire can get this catch up here. Quickly repositioning right under the Robo. And it gives them a little bit of cover for the time being. The launch pad, I think they were looking for a little bit of a higher angle as DRS Gaming gets taken out of the equation. Locked down by the thrill of battle. And Falcons needs to quickly reposition. They do not want to get stuck in a fight without their active skills. Riptide Rhythm from afar. EVOS will play some shots, but it's Aurora that takes the advantage with that shot. The Malaysian squad slowly sneaking their way back in here. Locked down once again by the thrill of battle. Potentially out of the Brazilian squad this time round. Grenade, what a tight angle, played perfectly there. But Loud up against EVOS, that's going to be the appointment that they have to go through first before catching up with the Malaysians.
This is insane high-stakes fights as well. Just fighting for this real estate property. Saifa gets knocked down somewhere in the corner here as EVOS still saves their lives by just hunkering down in a corner and waiting out the initial onslaught. because he trapped barely alive already, taking out so much damage. Gets a top up here, trying to break into the building, and somewhere in the corner, Team Apex Gaming does already get eliminated here. Loud waiting patiently on the outer side here. Like it or not, EVOS and Aurora are gonna have to vacate the premises. Now the glue wall's been, I think, destroyed. They're coming into the area. EVOS forced to move back as well.
A smart reposition here by Loud. To put a great distance between themselves and the chaos that they almost encountered between EVOS and Aurora. Now leaving the battle between the Malaysian and the Indonesian squad. And the shots from afar, AGL putting the pressure onto both Aurora and EVOS. Riptide Rhythm breaking down the defenses. Azrael sneaky, but he saw the Riptide Rhythm and quickly stepped away from the window. Ray, on the other hand, not doing that. AGL getting a couple of tags in. Aingot, the Molko tagging him up already. And it looks like he will sneak away. Ray, on the other hand, will not get the pleasure of doing so. Axel's gonna get caught out. Riptide Rhythm again putting on so much of pressure, taking advantage of this tight little compound. And Aurora again will get snuffed out early.
Yu is doing great, just really catching people in the mid of the rotations as well. Now EVOS only Aim God is alive, gonna hunker down the corner as Loud is gonna work their magic onto GD. Aim God rushing through, but for the other side there's gonna be a massive Nyx and Trap doing a lot of magic, but GD pressuring them, and AGAL also wants to join in on that fight. GD rushing forward, and now right in the nick of time, you have AGAL finding the last possible member from EVOS, not able to survive, so Aim God down and out.
Yeah, that's it for EVOS. AGL spotted them out and they were just tracking them all the way through. And now Gun Dynasty trying to take on the Brazilians, but the interference from the Thai squad. AGL long range away and almost no cover at all except their glue walls. This is going to be trouble if a Skylar is in the hands of either Gun Dynasty or Loud. And they'll quickly take some cover behind the boulder as well as these trees. Great rotation, great defense from the Thai squad.
AGL being very patient here, stuck behind a rock, but definitely not a hard place yet. But now as GD wants to take away this real estate from Loud, cannot do so.
Oh,
damage is done. Nice damage onto Trap, but no more than that.
Beautifully played here by Latam. Understanding the angles perfectly. Trying to make use of the utilities instead of taking a straightforward fight up against Loud, who do have the positional advantage in that sequence. Shiru, though, caught in hand, looking for the flank, trying to play a little bit of pressure on AGAL to take AGL out of the equation here before they have to deal with Brazil. And AGL understands the little bit of a pinch that they are in, trying to close the distance down to take the positional advantage away from GD as the circle forces them closer in.
Shiro is just trying to really just come into the area, can go for this backstab. AGL does try to collapse forward, but the amount of pressure that Loud is putting on them is incredible. The glue walls are just immediately destroyed. GD cannot come close and come into the compound at all. Duo falls. David, good one onto him as well. And Shiro, his position finally seen, forced to move back here. David putting in that damage to AGL, a quick reposition forward, and they are going to collapse. AGL cannot move forward.
What a beautiful rotation, man. That's perfection out of Thailand, perfection out of AGAL. But now, how do you deal with this chaos? Gun Dynasty have been pushed outside. They are at a disadvantage at this point of time. But when the circle starts closing on in, it's going to be trouble. Where will the zone move? Who does it favor? And Trap, what a nade. David taken out, but the time turner is active on their side. They didn't waste it earlier on, and that allows them to pick up their rusher instantly.
And it's really good.
One
you
more.
Cycling! Nice shot and knockdown coming in from Cypher's skill. Great work coming through here. Loud still has the upper hand advantage in terms of positioning. AGL, HP chunking down. The damage comes through, and Loud, all they have to do is just rush forward, and they're completely surrounded from every single angle. And Loud, once again, a booyah!
Second booyah of the day for Brazil. And they are not messing around. Got pushed down a tad bit. The performance at Purgatory, not the best. At Solara, it was decent. But this is going to get them right back in contention for the #1 spot for sure. AGL definitely going to be in the race for the top 3 here after a back-to-back performance. We saw them pick up a massive number of eliminations off of Purgatory, and they have gotten in towards that final circle here at Nextera with the exact same performance. Great play, I have to say, from both teams.
You know what's really impressive about AGL? The fact that in the beginning of the game, they're all around the map. We come to them finally after seeing those initial fights. Suddenly, like, what? They already have 6 eliminations? Silent but deadly, but definitely loud toward the end as well. It felt like a bait and switch because GD was the one that had a compound, I would say, advantage in the beginning.
Yeah, and this was where it all came crumbling down for AGL. They went in, they took the house as their defensive compound. What they were not expecting was the play out of Gun Dynasty. And the play out of Gun Dynasty wouldn't have been forced if it wasn't for Loud. Loud started tossing those grenades at them. Gun Dynasty had to make a decision, and the only decision they could make was take the fight up against AGAL. And they played that perfectly, rushing straight at them. And again, I've always mentioned how David 444 is one of the most lethal rushes out there. And he took the fight straight up against them with the Mag 7, demanding a lot of points in that house, and he got it for their side. But towards the end, it just wasn't enough. AGL stood their ground really well with the defense, but they had to lose 2 players in that sequence as well, and Loud with the advantage just walked away with it towards the end. It's not always about the most aggressive. Sometimes it's about who understands the final circle better.
Yeah, you have the eliminations. You have to find that I would say, balance, right?
Yeah.
Between getting to that last few points with those placements, plus also getting those eliminations as well. And AGL has, I would say, AGL, Loud, Buram United have really good, I would say, grasp on being able to do all of this coming into the game. I think what's really fun to see as well is just the fact that for AGL, they know how to do the bait and switch. They know how to go for zone control. But I have to say that for Loud just now, they were just doubling down on that real estate. They know that they had the height advantage. They know that they can just really kind of keep out GD from their area and force GD and AGL to go for that fight. And all they have to do is just clean up house.
Yeah, and it's been very impressive to see this Brazilian squad so far, because yes, it wasn't a very aggressive purgatory game, but if you look at their positioning placement in all 4 games so far has been phenomenal. We're going to take a quick short break now. When we come back, the final 2 games of the day.
Break out the drums because Brazil is showing up. 2 booyahs today for Loud, and my gosh, Neptune, this squad is consistent as heck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, imagine 2 booyahs and 3 times on the top 3 out of 4 games. And this is just something that we don't expect to see, especially in day number 1 out of this kind of competition. Most of the time in this level of competition, there's a lot of stealing of those booyahs. There's a lot of stealing of those numbers as well in terms of elimination. So Loud is just doing quite well in positioning themselves and making sure that they are not out there being gunned down.
Yeah, and of course, Loud is so much better tactically when we compare to the other teams. They have the patience, they have the drive. Again, it's something so refreshing to see. But then again, it's a Brazil team. Are we even that surprised?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Brazil has been one of that contender that has been a bane when it comes to like a battle of Southeast Asia and Brazil and also other regions being introduced. And with the more regions in here being put in the mix, like they have that elements of surprise because the focus would be on the newcomers and they will be most of the target. And we were seeing that at the bottom of the leaderboard.
Yeah, we definitely were. I mean, I was going to be looking at the match standings right here. GD being able to put up some points as well. Out of all their squads, AG, how about that with those 27 points?
27 points, 18 elimination points, and I gotta hand it down to Do and Saifa. They're doing so well. This is exactly the teamwork that I actually wanted to see from EFOS Divine because it's an Indonesian, of course. I do hope that they can learn from the best, and honestly, I think that game, it really showcased the ability of Do and the capability that he has to lead the team towards victory.
Honestly, I thought AGAL was going to take the booyah in that last match. Their positioning in the bottom of building, I thought, oh, surely they have this. Surely they've got this. But no, of course, you know, Loud's just sitting on top in the way that they were they're able to accelerate and take more of positioning in the zone. It was exceptional. And I know, Neptune, you got something to say about that, don't you? Like, yeah, let's get loud.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's more of what they can do in terms of the number. Again, getting a booyah will add up for your total points, but elimination is at some point at this stage of the competition is even more important because you have to bring that much to pull yourself at the top of the leaderboard, and booyah is something that is reserved for the team, especially with the champion rush condition towards the grand finals.
And I think looking at the overall standing, something that I'm really aware is that it is so scary for EFOS Divine in the very beginning of the competition. I mean, we started off really shaky, but looking at it now, we have 84 points and then 50 kills. That is not bad at all, even though we only have one booyah secured right now. I think what I said at the beginning of the show might come true. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to keep repeating it, but I do think there's a huge chance for EFOS Divine to maintain this position and actually be, I don't know, the next one to go to the next stage.
And the one thing that we were talking about earlier is that sponge between those teams towards the top. And it's starting to get even more and more. Once we see the overall, you get a chance to see exactly what I'm talking about in regards to those teams at the top, just making an even bigger gap to some of the other squads. Now, one thing I know has been sticking out besides the top squads, right? We got to go to PDX. I mean, I was talking about earlier in regards to Tag. That's a squad that needed to be able to step it up. They have since then, since we've mentioned it. I know you were looking at PDX, Lace.
Yeah, see, I'm looking at Paradox, and look, they're not sitting pretty on the top of the leaderboard, okay? You know, we're talking about the Louds and the AGLs. I feel like there's two games going on at the moment. We've got like the AGLs, the Louds, EVOS, you know, kind of having their own scuffles in the top of the leaderboard. And when you move further down, the Tags, we got Paradox down there. I know Paradox had an accelerating run against Tag, but unfortunately fell like a little bit short in that match there. And it just seems like they're just not making the best decisions for their team. They managed to sort of get split. But where we were looking more into that final zone, Paradox, it was probably the first time I actually saw them group up and were able to put more eliminations on the board, and that's what we need to see from them. So I don't really know what's happening like in and amongst the early fights and stuff for them, but that was probably the best performance we have seen from them. But they are, you know, not being able to get those eliminations and those placement points on the board.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, the first few games, they're not that aggressive. And the signature of Paradox Gaming is that, the signature of Paradox Gaming coming from their regionals is that aggressive team. Like from Africa, they managed to clutch it towards the end and getting that qualifier on the EWC, and it's more of the elimination. So this is one thing that we were expecting at get-go. There's a lot of teams who want to show up strong, especially if they are new to this contention. But for Paradox Gaming, they need that time to recover. But what I'm worried about is if that time is running out, because again, that's already 4 games and you only have 2 more for this group.
Yeah, again, speaking of trying to come off as strong, courageous, again, I think I feel we. No.
Thanks, girl.
Then we gotta add gorgeous then, girl, because you are drop dead gorgeous. Okay, anyways. Speaking of courage, of course, we have to also talk about Gun Dynasty again, because finishing at top 3, it's just so amazing. It's making me feel like I need to know more about this LATAM team. I mean, that is just crazy. They are now at the 5th position of the overall standing. 69 points, 23 plays, and then I'm seeing 46 kills. That is amazingly huge for them, Neptune.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, from the first and the last game, they managed to get 20 plus on elimination. It was a little bit slow, though, on that second game. And towards that third, I think it's because of the challenge they have on that game number 2, or the match number 2. Thus, they didn't get that much on the point. But I'm really looking forward to them to catapult themselves a little bit higher in this point right now, because they're very close against Garena United.
Yes, I'm about to say something that I might regret, but right now, I actually enjoy watching Gun Dynasty more than Buriram United Esports. I enjoy them
clip that.
so much. It's crazy. Like, I found a new love today.
What's making you enjoy it so much? Because remember, Buriram, even though you didn't get a chance to talk about them earlier, they did end up picking up that one booyah.
Yes, they did, but I think it's just about time for Gun Dynasty. I mean, you saw it on the 4th game. They were so amazing. And again, the courage that they have and the strength to back it up, it's just so amazing to see.
Yeah, I guess the difference between the gameplay of Gun Dynasty is in the beginning of the game, they show up. That's where more the hype is coming from. And compared to what we've seen in Garena United Esports, again, the signature is you're invisible in the first half, then to the second half, that's where you get all those elimination. But at some point, they're surprised. I'm pretty sure they're counting how many opponents that they have in front of them towards the end. And with say 7 or 8 teams against you, you couldn't, or Garena United couldn't really bring that fire and catch up with the numbers. But it's a good thing that they did get that booyah.
Yeah, and right now we're looking at their squads that they need to wake up, especially when we're going to be going into the final 2 games of Group A. Keep in mind, for everybody watching at home, you're saying, wait, final 2 games? No, we still got 6 more from Group B coming up. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But I mean, from some of the other squads that we're watching, we saw the Pakistan team, right? They're towards the bottom. They need to do something, because right now the top 4 squads, the cutoff is at 70 points. And that's not going to stop. That's just going to keep going because of the consistency, Conchita, that we're currently seeing out of their squads. What can we see out of those bottom squads in the last 2 matches? Because they need to wake up.
Yes, they do need to wake up. Unfortunately, I'm not really familiar with the way the Pakistani teams play, but what I see from their performance today is that there's a gap of, capability that apparently they still have against the other team. And that is something that I hope they can catch up as soon as possible, because obviously being on the bottom 2 is not so ideal. Looking at it, it's still quite a climb that they need to do, but yeah, keeping my fingers crossed.
And then you have Aurora. Aurora is currently 40 points. I'm sorry I have to do it to you.
I won't mention their name anymore.
You can talk about them, but just don't mention their name. From that squad, I mean, you were talking about having eliminations earlier on. They only have 19 eliminations so far. We've seen squads being able to get almost that in just 1 match.
I think what Aurora game is finding right now is a balance of, because they failed in the first game. Yeah, I mean,
it's okay.
I'm thinking it's my fault, but they failed in the first few games. But since they couldn't bring the elimination, they couldn't bring the fire, so they're going back to the basic. Go for survivability, trying to balance it out, elimination and placement point. And that's why they're trying something different. Just go and try to catch up, or go for catch up on the placement point. Once they get the groove of how to find the final circle, then they can get those elimination.
Yeah, what I've been noticing is that every time they go into an altercation or try to take a fight, they come out as the losing team. It's down to 1 player, then they're going to have to make that revive and try and do that. So I do believe that, if they can continue that survivability, because eliminations will come in the end, okay? As long as you can make your rotation, you get to that final zone, the elims will come. So hopefully we can see that sort of progress into the next games, because they slightly started doing it in that final match, but the first couple of matches, every time I saw Aurora fight, it was them out, and it's not working for them. So they definitely need to adapt and change, because mechanically, they're gifted. but they're not making these decisions correctly.
Yeah, I so agree because individually they're great players, but somehow when it comes to the teamwork, something just isn't working. There is
what's not
something
clicking?
that they not to change. I mean, it's like someone needs to step up, I guess, and be the role
Neptune,
model
step up.
for them.
No.
Yeah, no.
Go on,
I might step out.
I'm sorry, man. I'm going to target you for this one. Yeah.
No need to do that. I mean, in regards to eliminations, one squad that has been stepping up is Team Apex Gaming. They have been able to put up those elims. At the beginning of the day, they were struggling a lot. Even Lucifer, one of our casters, is going to be coming for Group B. He was saying they're slow starters. He was actually expecting them to do better in the second day.
Yeah.
But you can't be mad. Honestly, Neptune, you cannot be mad at the way that this squad has now been able to put up those eliminations.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's more of elimination geared. Apex
It's
Gaming.
the complete opposite, right?
Complete opposite of what we're going for earlier. Like placement point, they like no regards of placement point. All they have to do is early on the get-go, they want to get all those eliminations in, and at some point for teams, they're treating it as a 50-50. Like it's a double-edged sword. But for Team Apex Gaming, they want to bring down the sword against the opponent. Whether they lose, I think they can carry over those eliminations in the following round. The risk is they're losing the balance of finding the final circle. And again, there's still importance of that booyah. Probably not this point at this stage, but if you're really catching up in numbers, you have to do well on both.
Yeah, because 29 elimination points is not bad at all. I mean, from what we see out of the 4th games that we have just watched, Apex really is trying to fix the mistake they have on the first game. And yeah, I think things are quite looking up for them right now.
You can see they got fans right now here in the arena live from Paris. This is Free Fire at EWC. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going into the last 2 matches of Group A. Can those bottom squads step it up like we've been wanting to see? Or is it just going to be too little, too late in this last 2 matches before we go into tomorrow? AJ, Tash Bunny, take it away.
Thank you very much, Seven. Man, it has been an exciting one here for sure. We expected Nextera to deliver, and Nextera did exactly that. 121 eliminations in that lobby. It was explosive end to end. But now we head on into Kalahari. We head on into the map where the snipers usually rule. Let's see exactly which sniper stands tall by the end of this.
It's always very fun, right? I think we've already kind of pinpointed which players we want to see.
Yeah.
We saw it coming in from Moshi. We saw it coming in from Rasha as well. Some of the 2 hard hitters for this particular game. And now that this is actually our first Kalahari of the day, I'm wondering if it's going to be a slower start, or will the momentum of that fast, aggressive starts keep going all the way till the very end of this Group A day?
Demon's Pride currently at the very bottom of our leaderboard. Not in the right spot, if you ask me. Taking the fight up early at Refinery against Loud. AGL Cypher being cheeky as well to check out exactly what's going on at Refinery. So that shows a potential intention of AGL wanting to rotate in towards this high platform later on. DRS, Team Apex Gaming, Tech. This is going to be a tad bit crowded. Command post only usually has 1 team commanding it. This time you've got 3 vying for that spot.
You know, looking at the most damage and also most elims as well, right? You're seeing a majority of the players coming in for, I think, most eliminations. I think on top of Rasha, you also have both Dew and Cypher as well, which actually sets a precedent on how aggressive and how much, I think, AGL prioritizes these eliminations.
Sahil Jat is in a tricky position here. He does have the flank, but he cannot back up the rest of his team members. Just yet, Shoto gonna get caught out here by Blade. The caught up close and personal, plus the electrotherapy, giving Blade the extra advantage in that battle. Sahil Jat's finally gonna show up. And that's just the wrong timing. He drops a little bit of a present here for Tech as he quickly tries to back away. But a quick recap here as well for Demon Sprite up against Loud earlier on. The time turner actually saving BZP a little bit of extra time, but Jazzy only could get that knock off of that engagement, sending top 16 running away from the compound. Demon Sprite again starting off on the back foot here, but the recovery was solid through those revives.
TEC just now looks like they had the upper hand in that fight, and now DRS has decided to join in on this fight. And DRS has been scary today in terms of positioning and even fights here. It's Wolfen that will be the first one to fall as the rest of TEC waits in the wings. Nejat as well will be picked off somewhere else, and now Buram United also here joining in that fight. It is hectic over here at command post as well, as Moshi finally finds a final nail in the coffin to a member of TEC.
Yeah, if command post wasn't already crowded, here comes Buriram jumping into the fray as well, looking to be the third party in the situation. DRS gonna shut down the remaining players on the side of TEC one after the other, but Buriram, as mentioned, is still in here. Locked down by the thrill of battle now. Takuri, big advantage, but it looks like he's not gonna be able to walk away from much. Pratik knocked down once again. And the recovery is going to be slow here from the side of DRS as they continuously are pressured by Buriram Takuri. Jonah finds him with the VSK, and Strowex far away from the rest of the battle, but will Buriram be able to snuff him out? He's got the stealth bites, which is about to run out, and he gets away in the nick of time. And perhaps this is going to be the final survivor here on the side of DRS that brings them right back in, but he has to play this one slow because Loud is right in front of him.
And Barrows as well. Oh no, he is the one to go down here somehow. Ben is just doing such a great job of being able to fight him in the end. Top 16 will be found out finally by GD here. It's just such an unlucky situation as Shiro quickly brought back into the game in this situation. And I think that in so many of these fights as well, we see one team having the upper hand situation, and then suddenly the rest of the collapse coming in from so many teams. We start to see a systematic way for most of these teams trying to bring themselves back into the game. And Cypher, nasty shot coming in, and he's just gonna bleed out here.
Yeah, Benel is definitely one of the super flex players out there. He is the Swiss Army knife of the GD squad and Gun Dynasty. Just showing everyone that they're just not here to fill up a slot. They are here to rip away the championship. And if they keep this up, they sure as hell are going to be able to do that. First of all, getting into the grand finals is looking like it's going to be an easy journey for Gun Dynasty. But it looks like at Bayfront, we've got a little bit more of a tense situation as two Southeast Asian squads take on each other in a battle. Falcons versus EVOS Divine.
EVOS Divine in this situation, you just gotta wait things out. You just gotta find a window of opportunity to bring your team back into the game. I'm not too sure if Aim God is being marked right now is the question. Because there hasn't really been too much of movement from the rest of the teams as well. Now, you look at TEC, they've come back into the game. It started off really well for them in the early fights, but then the collapse coming in. I think the possibility of third parties today have been incredible for so many teams. We see it happening from so many different angles. And for Falcons, they want to try and take this fight against TAG.
A crucial rotation here from Aim God, looking to bring the squad of EVOS back into play. If they get eliminated now, being overtaken by AGL and Loud is a no-brainer. The players on the side of Falcons, on the other hand, on their rotation, they spot out TAG, Team Apex Gaming in a little bit of a trouble. Riptide Rhythm's going to be breaking down the defenses. Iljot can't drive away. Wolven stuck. Time Turner is on his side, and he needs to hope and pray that Falcons make a mistake here, but the valiant dash of Opina is just going to put him in a little bit of a pickle, and now it's all up to KD God. He's got coins to revive the squad twice around, but can he get to a vending machine in time?
Yeah, it's just really scary right now. You have no clue or idea where exactly anyone can be. And granted, this map is huge. Everyone has a bit of an area. The high grounds are looking good as well. There we go. EVOS back into the game as
nice.
AimGod finds a way in here. As for the rest of the team, the reposition is going to be incredibly hard.
One more!
A lot of damage! Benel, oh my gosh,
one more!
nasty shot coming in from multiple angles. The Swiss Army knife for the team. Not only is he sharp, but also is he diligent. He revives and he kills as well.
But Nell, you monster! But now in a 1v1 up against Rahat, can you get the hit? David and Vega down on the ground already. But Benel looking like he wants to shine on his own in this situation. Doesn't have much of a choice, but Barros shows up in his radar as well. And Benel making the right move here to disengage from that situation. Rahat can deal with Barros, the player from the side of AGAL. Gun Dynasty in a little bit of a pickle, and Benel once again dropping back to see if he can save the squad, but the pickups are going to be solid here from Shiru. And with the stealth bites, Benel's going to get out of that sticky situation, keeping Gun Dynasty definitely in the driver's seat here for the day.
Oh yeah, KD got in trouble. Takes a bit of chip damage, but nothing more than that. The Falcons are hungry and they really want these kills. Forced to reposition, drops down to the ground, but Unfire is refilling that space that's been left behind. KD got a lot of damage taken from the util as well. He is barely alive. Forced to go in the open, and Unfire should find him in the end, knocks him down. The inhaler should keep him alive for some time. Sajak cannot do more than that, and the Falcons are looking to hunt down the last few players. Wolven in the sky, but the shots for Kiroro are just nasty.
Wolven, the escape plan failed, but he did manage to pull in a final second revive for Team Apex Gaming. That's going to be their insurance policy for the time. Falcons, on the other hand, they found that one to be a little bit too easy based on the position of the TAG players, but Shoto just shining right before he got taken down. KD God bringing Wolven right back in. The recovery play is already in motion for Team Apex Gaming.
Falcons doing great in terms of reposition. How they collapse is just so scary to see, especially if you're caught out here alone here. Now, Falcons, nice position here, fairly safe away from the rest of the teams, but they have to rotate eventually as TEC, despite losing so many players early, they are also very slippery, still very much in the game. Knockdown, Rahat does find Jonah in exchange, but Wasana wants to avenge his teammates.
And he'll be able to do that with a valiant dash. Phenomenally done. Timed perfectly. Captain Jonas out of the equation, but Buriram have got the vending machine on their side. Get high once again as usual on the recovery plays. Moshi, M82B looking for Nejad. Can he pull the final strike to take TEC out of the lobby early here? He focuses towards the right instead as AGAL shows up on the radar of Buriram, and that is the saving grace for TEC, who managed to pull in at least one revive to stay in play.
Yeah, Kutush gets knocked down somewhere in that process as well here. As the Falcons come through, I think there should be fairly clear to go into that until they hit Bayfront, because TAG is waiting there right now. And I have to say, TAG had so many close calls today. Shoto got knocked down, I think, twice already, but they're slippery.
Big advantage on the airdrop here. No other teams aiming for it. Falcons get a freebie advantage, rotating towards it, finding nobody there. So great in terms of decision making, as well as a little bit of luck on the side of the EWC 24 champs. And it's only Apex in their way as they will try to get into Bayfront in a little. Can the Indian squad punish the champions of EWC 24, or will they get punished instead? The battle between Buriram and AGAL still continues as both squads need to get into the next zone. And Jonah on the revive with the Car 98, punishing Barros, which means the front liner out of the equation. A little bit of an extra advantage for the side of Buriram, and AGAL does not want to stay and play. They use the launcher to get themselves out of that sticky situation, far away from Buriram.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good tactical decision as well. You're taking up too much damage already. Buriram United was in a great position, just really overwhelmed them as well. And I think if anything, if AGL can find a good position, they are the type of team that if they're prepared for it, they can take these fights and just completely dominate so many different areas. Now, Buriram United will follow suit here, coming into the safer zone as well. The southern side underneath the circle is looking scary. Loud is there, EVOS is there, TEC coming through, DP on the wings as well. And it's going to be really nasty. I love where Loud has put himself. Look at this sniper. Buriram United don't know.
The trigger discipline there, making sure he doesn't give away his position, which is a prime one. He wants to maintain the bird's eye view, stay out of trouble, and then strike when it's truly needed. But for how long are you going to stay undetected up there? Loud definitely has a big advantage for this next circle. And Southeast Asia battling each other to find the next circle for themselves. This time it's going to be Falcons versus AGAL. The shot is there. Aurora versus Gun Dynasty. Aurora, you cannot take this fight. Team Apex Gaming interfering as well. Car 98 perfect for Katie God. Azrael sprayed down to the ground. Jun looking for the recovery here. Will be the distraction as he gets clipped down by the thrill of battle as well. Nothing much that Aurora can do in this situation up against EVOS as well as Gun Dynasty.
Azrael is barely alive right now, and I think the rest of the teams here know that, so they want to try and go in for this collapse. GD is close by as well. Aimbot marking them, making sure they don't come close. Both teams are being so cautious of one another, but Loud decides to jump in here. Aurora might be crunched.
Close to 13 minutes, 11 squads still alive and kicking. Things are about to get very messy. Pandemonium about to break out here on the battlefield if we don't start thinning down these numbers. Loud with a phenomenal rotation has been able to keep themselves safe for the time being. Good glue walls pulled out, timely manner. Not having to waste a lot of those med kits on unnecessary recoveries. EVOS, Loud, Aurora in a tight little spot, but they've got the advantage for the next circle. They can keep an eye on the rest of the competition.
Yeah, he even has an idea that someone is coming through as well. Gonna try and break it as the rest of the teams here. Loud at the bottom side, Aurora on the top side. If Aurora were to jump out, they're gonna fall straight into Loud's arms as well. A lot of damage coming in from Ray. A lot of, I think, a lot of pressure coming in from GD. So no one is really in the green. If anything, anyone is out here for grabs. It's an FFA area, free for all, for the first person that pops out their head. And everyone very cautious. And over to our Bayfront as well. The same thing is happening because TAG, you have Falcons coming through, watching straight for to our tag. And AGL, you know them. You see them fighting. They're going to try and third party you.
Yeah, but still gate kept by Team Apex Gaming. And he's just trying to avoid the engagement with the Indian squad as much as possible. But will India take advantage of the situation? If they want to battle, they have to take it now. But as I say that, Falcons dropping on in. Team Apex Gaming holding their fort strong here. Pina trying to break down the defenses, finds an opening, and with the Punisher takes down Shoto. A deadly shot, but the follow-up is slow. Team Apex Gaming again, barricading all of those windows, trying to keep Pina out of their way. And it looks like the players of Gun Dynasty will spot out this battle between the two, trying to play third party from that high ground.
Yeah, and it's just really annoying to be dealing with all of this as well. Katie got this with the damage. Even Pina out in the open. Caught! Limit does find one. Wolvin eliminated as well.
Oh.
Forced out in the open. What can you do? You stay inside. You eat damage from the util. And now for GD, all they have to do is just pick them off one by one in the middle of those rotations.
Gun Dynasty, the biggest winner in that equation. And Team Apex Gaming, they survive the ambush by Falcons. Not somehow, that's how. Beautiful play of Gun Dynasty. And Gun Dynasty doesn't care exactly who's in front of them. They just won these points. And yet again, Gun Dynasty taking the fight up against Team Apex Gaming. But this time, they do not manage to defend themselves. Latam just too strong. And Gun Dynasty, from being the third party to the predators in that equation, and Team Apex Gaming had nothing left in the gas tank.
They have such good timing and such insane awareness. Now AGAL, because they're at the lower side here, they have to wait through for this first fight to happen. And finally, the stalemate is broken. DP now in the open out and just fighting. PDX as well in the same situation.
Paradox.
Top 16, taken one already.
This is not an equal battle. Paradox can be outgunned here by Gun Dynasty. The only difference maker is going to be the ambush by AGAL. They take the timing right. Benel, super low. It's the lightning zone that gives them the extra bit of advantage as well. And EVOS has showed up out of nowhere. And Gun Dynasty, like the third party equation that they pulled off, they get shut down. Aurora makes their way out of the lobby a little bit too early once again. Gun Dynasty looking for the recovery, but Nell and David, no vending machines around them, and the shutdown by Cypher off of that Mag 7 is perfect. Gun Dynasty loses yet another, and Paradox still alive and kicking through all of that.
And it is hectic here as well as Burma United completely want to crunch down Loud, and they do just that. Moshi knocked down already. Wasana coming close, keeping the team fairly alive and healthy. Here's PDX coming close, trying to take a little bit more space, but the high ground Burma United has gives so much vantage.
This is the most eliminations we've seen out of Buriram so far, and AGAL is on fire as usual. The most they picked up was 18 eliminations at Nextera, and they want to break their own record here on day one's run. What a phenomenal day AGL is having for themselves. And two Thai squads in this final circle up against Gun Dynasty that stands no chance because of their numbers.
Yeah, GD only one player alive, not for long, but now will go down next year. And AGL on fire, crushes through here, kept away by those blue walls. Moshi almost getting clipped, finally does, goes down to Baros, and he's not done quite yet. Sypha finding great angles and positions here as Jonah puts in the damage from far away. It's hectic, Wasana jumping, trying to fire away to find a way against Sypha, but cannot do more than that.
The record for eliminations is 18, set by AG Global, but no booyah for them on that match. Buriram, on the other hand, looking to set the record for the day. And now it's a 1v1. The support up against the sniper. And the support player is stealthy on the front lines and deadly with the Mag 7. Buriram late to the party, but biggest on the numbers as they break the record set by AGAL.
Record-breaking and second booyah of the day. This team feels unstoppable. There's just so many things happening right now, but they're so, I would say, aware on how the positions are going to go, how the movement is going to be, and somehow they managed to find that last crucial kill at the very, very last possible timing.
It was Buriram that set the record for the highest points at Purgatory. 15 eliminations plus the booyah. But they got matched up with that. Problem was at Nextera, AGAL just could not walk away with the booyah. It was Loud that ruined their plans, walking away with the second booyah of the day for Brazil and kept them from breaking the record of Buriram, and Buriram showing exactly why they are three-time world champs. Phenomenal play. Let's check out these replays as well as Buriram pulled off that final battle sequence.
Honestly, I think that what's really exciting about this particular match was not just about Buriram United, but I think it's just more of like how they decided to just really double down in fights. Usually it's a bit more quiet by them early, right? But this time around, you could feel like they're just starting to just get into the groove. They're starting to really feel themselves in this fight. Positioning-wise was also really good as well. They had so much control of that high ground.
I mean, the comms obviously just cool, calm, collected, not panicking in that situation at all. And get high XL, man. This guy is one of the most lethal supports out there on the battlefield, hands down. And when you've got a support player who can annihilate the squads, you really don't need to worry in a situation like that. A good reason why Buriram sets the record is because they are no strangers to it.
Yeah, I think it's also really exciting to think about how, you know, Buriram United approaches this game. Sometimes they're going a little bit more slow. They have a lot of pages in their playbook as well coming into this game. But I am really surprised at how, I would say, aggressive so many of these teams are starting from that get-go. I think everyone's starting to get really confident coming to the game. Even TEC, I would say, had a little bit more spark in them compared to the beginning of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been a great day for TEC. Managing to play a little bit of recovery on Kalahari was crucial for them. But, you know, it's just going to be enough to get them out of the danger zone. Not permanently just yet, because they've spent too much of time down in the bottom two. Now, we have got a little bit of a breather here for the casting desk. We are going to throw you guys onto a tad bit of a break. We'll catch up with you guys in a bit for Game 6 later, the final one for Group A.
What's up, everyone? Carol Bombshell here. I know you guys are having so much fun watching Free Fire, but there is a lot more going on here at AWC 2026 in Paris. So come with me, let's check this out. Let's go! Have you chosen your outfit for today? No problem. There's a lot of options here at the official store. T-shirts, hoodies, socks, teddy bears, even hats. Oh, you want to customize with your own name? Yes, there is a bunch of options here. What about your team is not doing so well? No problem. There's another options here, another teams that you can cheer for. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. We gotta cut this right now because I'm gonna customize my own t-shirt. Bye. Lots of fun activations here, like in Lenovo Stand. You can play games and also you can do some different things. Look at this. Maybe I wanna try. Okay. Oh, sorry. I was trying to help you. Oh, maybe I should get in the line because we got a full house. You better don't take too long to come. Wow, we are in the middle of it all, the heart of AWC. We got a great atmosphere here with fans at stage 1, stage 2, the most important stage for you. Stage 3, stage 4. Oh my gosh. Oh, did you notice Team Vitality? It's your favorite team, so come and drink a coffee with them. Are you missing Kidia City? No problem. We got Kidia City right here with a lot of fun activations, interactions for you to have fun the whole day. And you know what? If you are in the area, you got to be mad to not to come here. So I'm waiting for you. See you soon.
And what an insane last match that was. I feel like that was probably the most chaotic end zone that we have had in these games today. I don't understand really what went on in these first original matches to then pop out with this. It's like all the teams switched on. Did any stand out to you?
Lace, what we just saw is actually a classic battle between Buriram United Esports and of course AGAL. We are practically seeing history repeat itself again and again and again. And it was so amazing to see Get High finally came out as the winner because boy, that was intense. I am so giddy inside. I'm so excited. And it's only the 5th game of the day. We still have one more game from the A group.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen obviously AGAL dominating at the time, but it's nice to see these sort of other teams take over in the mix. But I think if we sort of go back to that end zone there, I feel like these players are switching on and they're like, you know what? We kind of didn't do, that great in these first couple of matches, and now we know it needs to turn up. I know we're talking about it, the game, we're in game 5 coming up now, but like, is it a little bit too late? Is there a particular team that you found in that end zone? I know I did. I know I was talking about them before, and that was Paradox, where I said they need to get better placement points. They need to turn up, and they were actually in that position in that final zone.
Yes, but also if you talk about the Southeast Asian games teams, I mean, I honestly think that they are kind of dominating the points throughout the whole entire day, and it is so refreshing to see because usually we see that happening from the Brazilian team. Yes, I mean Loud has been amazing. Loud has been a very powerful, but then again, it is the time for the Southeast Asian to really show the world what they are made of, and that's exactly what they've been doing. I mean, I'm so proud to see my boys killing it out there.
Yeah, I love that. Can I tell you a little bit of a story? And this was actually back to match number 1.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you guys back just a little bit here, but that is none other than Gun Dynasty and Banal, okay? I don't know if you saw me get out of my seat for this part, but they were making sort of a swift recovery, and then Banal pulls out the monster truck, and you kind of think that all fails and it's going to end there, but no, they sort of take that smooth transition to make that recovery, and the mechanical skill that Banal has for his team and the adaptation is simply exceptional. And if y'all missed that, obviously we got the replay, but they took this opportunity early to sort of maximize their eliminations, and I think they actually pulled up 17 in that first match. And what that obviously does for this team, and it sets them in a standard that is above and beyond the rest. Currently sitting more in the middle of the leaderboard, against our Louds and our AGLs, but that first match is something that I feel like these other teams need to follow suit because, consider me and color me impressed because I'm a Banal fan now. I don't know about you.
Well, same here, because you know what they say, right? The first match usually sets the tone, and that's exactly what they did. It was so amazing to see and so refreshing to see Banal. I mean, I said I just found a new love, and I think you felt it too. But then again, looking at the overall standing, AGAL, oh my God, 109 points, 70 elimination points. That is so amazing, and that is something that I'm so excited to see at the opening of EWC 2026. And of course, if we're talking about a top 5, we have Buriram United Esports as well as EFOS, Gun Dynasty, and Loud Snickers. That is, oh my God, that is what I expected and more.
Well, I know we're super excited here. I hope you guys are super excited at home because we're heading into our next match. Take it away, casters.
Man, I tell you, the day has been looking super eliminations. But what happened was the teams that did walk away with a double-digit elimination, which, by the way, was only 4 squads, walked away with a ton of points, right? We're talking about 23 eliminations from Buriram. AGAL walked away with a total of 19 eliminations. GD with the 15, and Loud walking it with just 10. Yeah, but that's still quite a lot for the squad because they're obviously looking to maintain their dominance on the leaderboard, and you're looking for the top 4 spots. But even with 2 Booyahs, it's surprising how Loud is still behind GD. Gun Dynasty has been amazing today.
I know, I was going to say that, right? The survivability was really good, their aggression was really good, their proactivity was really good, their rotations was also really good. They're like the kind of team that are very silent but deadly. You don't see them on the Booyah screen, but no Booyah, no problem.
No Booyah, no problem at all. At least on stage 1. But as we spot out the map here, it looks like finally we get some discipline. We get some quiet out there. We are back on Nextera, baby. And Nextera is the map that gave us the most number of eliminations from the day. 121 eliminations earlier on at Nextera just to light up the battlefield. And I talked about how we kind of were lacking through these eliminations on Kalahari from a lot of the teams. But still, it was the second highest with 102 eliminations. So I think some of these teams are definitely warming up, to say the least.
It's always very fun to see these things happening. And again, you know, how aggressive these maps have been. In the show just now, you said that some of these maps can go a bit faster. And that's how fast we're going right now. As Jazzy does get one quickly. Ray rushes forward. Top is barely alive right now. I'm not too sure how much longer he can survive here. Ray does put his shot first out here. But finally, in the end, does go down. And the points being stolen away by EVOS here. Starting off real hot as Jazzy crosses the peripherals of the rest of EVOS. And you cannot get away by trying to play like that against them.
Demon's Pride, getting their pride crushed out there. But they were not too arrogant to begin with. They were humble enough to acknowledge that this was going to be a very big stage, a massive challenge for them, for their region. But they're giving it their best. Their best so far hasn't been good enough. We did see a little bit of recovery play from Demon's Pride on that Kalahari match, and that has been their best game of the day, where they scored 10 points. The rest of those matches were way lower than that. That's exactly what's keeping them at the very bottom of the leaderboard. But thankfully, they've got 6 more games to look forward to tomorrow, and a lot of these mistakes to recover from.
Yeah, EVOS is still on it as well, chasing the last few members of DP here. So Madara instantly brought back into the game. Yes, but you're just giving up so many points to EVOS right now. But also at the same time, we were looking at GD for quite some time. We're saying how aggressive they are. PDX is going to go down eventually by them.
Absolutely, and EVOS picking up elimination number 5. Well, thanks to Aim God and his thirst for a few extra elimination points. Jazzy out all alone. He's protecting no compound whatsoever. Madara's just dropping right behind him, and they're just going to be hoping and praying that EVOS does not go out hunting. And thankfully, EVOS looks the other way. They walk away from the potential point. But DRS out early, though. This is not what I was expecting, but Aurora picking off the solid 4 points from the Nepali squad.
Yeah, I think that feels like DRS has started to slow down just a little bit as well. They didn't get the deeper run that we saw in the beginning of the day from this team. Aurora, though, looking into playing a different tune here. They want to try and catch up with Kiroro. They can crunch him from multiple angles. Kiro in trouble. The CQC, he tries to keep him alive. He does, but not for long here as Zeus finally chunks him down eventually.
Yeah, Kiroro just trying his best to get away the stealth bites, but Zeus was just way too close. And he had the Valiant Dash as well to just break down those defenses instantly to get another point for Aurora, who's definitely having a much better game here. But Team Apex Gaming up against your reigning defending champions of the Esports World Cup. Free Fire. Can we see India take down one of the most lethal squads out there? Aim God, the shield gun in hand. Won't be able to get aggressive just yet, waiting for the rest of the team members to catch up as well. Woven going in for the tags, but instead the reversal and the backup from the rest of the EVOS members puts him on the ground. Shoto's gonna get caught out here as well. It's a 2v1. Valiant Dash still keeping Shoto alive, but the numbers play will catch up, and a disadvantage for Team Apex Gaming here. Slowly, The team crumbling with the vending machine inside Sahiljat. Can he pull off some sort of a miracle here for the squad?
Yeah, but he's being marked by Rasha, who just desperately wants to take him down. Takes a little bit more damage here. It goes down. Rasha coming through as well. Not able to do so. Sahiljat finally wins it out in the end. Perfect positioning, but still has to deal with the rest of EVOS.
I'll take that, man. I'll take that. Good enough from Team Apex Gaming. Sahiljat giving us some exciting tightrope walking survival plays off of the glue wall, just at the very edge of that platform there. But of course, EVOS Divine still with the advantage on the numbers. But what's important is the recovery play off of the Indian squad. He bought enough time for the survivors to scurry on away, pull in those revives. And we're going to get to see if or not Team Apex Gaming finds that full recovery later on. Aurora, on the other hand, on one of their better runs so far. The most number of eliminations Aurora has pulled from a lobby today has been 9. They're already at 8, and this game is still fairly early. Can they continue their run, or will they fizzle out? Demon's Pride, again, still no way whatsoever to recover their gameplay here as they're scrambled on the battlefield.
Jazzy taking a lot of damage as well. Limit putting in the damage. And there we go. Falcons clean up house there as well.
Nice.
Another point in the back for DP. Brought back into the game quickly. Somehow I'm surprised the AGL with only one player left. I wonder what happened there.
Madara, Aswab, too close to Aurora. Easy picking here for the Aurora players. I see Tech in there as well. Potential 10-pointer best elimination game run here for Aurora on this next Jara map. Thanks to the players here from South Asia. The Dinocular will scan out the Demon's Pride players. Aurora's definitely on the hunt as they rotate around into Twin Bridge, looking for Intellect Center. It's actually Demon's Pride being the first team to make it into the next circle. Good on them, but scrambled from the very start.
Oh,
holy mama!
Gosh!
Rasya brought it to AGAL. That deadly shot.
He did it twice! Unmoved, undeterred, cool, and collected. Look at his reaction.
I mean, that's the best way to take the #1 spot. Take the guys out of the #1 spot and move on into where they stand. But EVOS Divine, obviously, they need a few more points to climb the leaderboard. They were behind Buriram before the start of this match. Not by too many, of course. Catching up isn't going to be too impossible. And Demon's Pride again, all their revives are just giving some extra bonus points to anyone that comes across them.
Yeah, TAG now in trouble as well. Buriram United bringing his teammates back into the game. Katie got to stay alive, but this shot from Moshi, nothing crosses this guy. Gonna be able to confirm that elimination fairly cleanly. Shoto is close by, Sahiljat and Wolvin around as well. And for Buriram United, I'm wondering what the next steps are going to be. Are they gonna go clean up house, get the last few eliminations, or are they gonna go and prioritize the positionings instead? And from the rotations, they're gonna try and go northern side here because the circle did hard shift north side.
Damn, Moshi, you're good. The follow-up off of that Riptide Rhythm is too perfect. Timely. But now, Gun Dynasty scrambling for safety as Falcons go out on the hunt. Vega's gonna get tagged up, and Peanuts therefore the finisher on the front lines, backed up by Limit. And the Riptide Rhythm causing a lot of chaos out here in the lobby, just not from one team, multiple squads depending on that Skylar. And we saw the perfection out of Moshi. Limit showing us that he can murk magic off of that as well. Shiru, Benel too far away from the vending machine. Shiru's going to be chased off of it as well. But Benel from afar with the strike of the VSK, finding the headshot. Deadly play from this guy. Knocks down Pina as well. And Benel single-handedly taking the fight up to Falcons. And that should be enough to contain the champions of EWC 24.
Should be able to bring back his teammate into the game as well. He kill, he heal, and he also eliminates players in this game. TAG once again brought back the teammates into the game once more as well. GG gonna launch themselves forward. Okay, this is gonna be interesting to be chased by EVOS here. Abax does find Shiru there somehow, knocked down.
Man, I mean, EVOS got into position at the perfect timing, but Benel survives, which means Gun Dynasty gets to survive a little bit longer because the Super Survivor, Super Reviver will be on to his mission once again. FGL shot out I've not seen a single narrow play after the nerf. That bit unfortunate we don't get to see those clutches.
Yeah, coming through here, Aim got jump shots forward here, puts in that damage. But it's Abax that gets caught out by Pina first in the end. Falcons now 9 eliminations already. AimGod will be found as well. EVOS may have bitten more than they can chew. Ray barely alive right now, feeling the pressure coming in from the players from the other side there. Does find Pina in the end, but I don't think they can do more than that.
Falcons looking to make this their game of the day. Definitely their best run they've had in here so far. EVOS, on the other hand, looking for that number 1 spot as they took out the team on that number 1 spot, AGAL themselves. But they're now on a recovery play. Abax on that revive. Falcons, on the other hand, this definitely officially is one of their better games. Earlier on, they got 12 eliminations off of Solara, but only 5 placement points. They have to be careful because they were heated up on the Solara map as well, but dwindled down quickly when that circle was closing in.
It just seems like in this situation here, TAG stuck in the corner. Now looking at Falcons, they really took their time to come into the circle as well. Coming back to GD, David, Vega also getting knocked down already. Benel just waiting for the right timing here. Just pop up his head, steal away those very nasty shots as he's been delivering toward this, I think, first side of the game, first part of the map, excuse me.
EVOS fully recovered already. Looking to take the number 1 spot by the very end of the day for Group A. Can the reigning defending champions find that full recovery for themselves? TC, on the other hand, quickly trying to play the reposition. Paradox, one of the teams that have been struggling, but definitely doing better than TEC at this point of time. Taking TEC out of the equation here. And give them a slight boost, and it's definitely a fair fight between the two, but Nezhad with the monster god name and going in for the finish here as well. Has got the electrotherapy connected to him, but can he get the job done?
Can't really get too
Slows
close.
the pace down a tad bit, and that does not give them that advantage they wanted.
Yeah, they're forced to reposition, go down to the lower ground as well. This is a 3-way fight. GD is here, Paradox is here, TEC as well. But they're going to take this bit by bit. Decides to pick and fight TEC first. Blade coming in hot, has an angle to work with, but finally locked out of the angle. You have the time timer online. Genric trying to find a different angle into the area. The inhaler keeps him surviving for quite some time. Snipe goes down, Kutush, huge for that as well. Even Denric is found in this situation. Blade also decides to end Denric's life in the end. As TEC, the players are just getting dropped left, right, and center. As GD decides to join in the fight. Shiro here, found in the end, but TEC with the upper hand.
Big play there by a Blade. Phenomenal, and Benel is on it again. This guy is unstoppable on the revives. Yeah, definitely not the right kind of record to be holding on to because you know your team's getting tortured out there, but they're also picking up some big points. TEC's out after that fantastic play. Shiru shut down by Moshi as he got revived, shot out of the air. And this is getting fairly dicey. Lightning Zone called out, and Aurora in a pickle out in the open.
Forced to reposition, rushes away with their lives. Look at the amount of pressure they are feeling right now. Finally, in the green from Semi. No, has to wait this out. And if they do come in here, not too far of a jump, but it's okay. Gives a bit of space between them and the rest of the teams.
Holy mama. Gun Dynasty, bloody impressive. So many times tortured, so many times losing their players. But the recovery as well as the dominance with the mechanical plays have been unbelievable. They sure as hell are on fire and even literally out there right now within the lobby. Can they pick up more for themselves? 15 eliminations and still going with 3 players still alive.
Here comes the wait. Jonah putting a bit of space between him and the rest of the team. Now gonna rush forward here. Aurora gonna take this fight, I think, head on against Buram United. They're so aware that they're very close by. They're, I think, pressuring them with the nades. Azrael, a lot of damage taken. Zeus is barely alive right now. The rush forward is good. Get high, does find Azrael here somewhere. And Wasana, the jump shots are just nasty. Zones them away, chasing the rest of the team, but still not able to completely wipe them out of the map.
Yeah, big mistake there from the Malaysian squad. Trickling in one after the other up against your world champs. That's just not gonna work out. This ain't no Bollywood movie. And the heroes, regardless whether or not it is a Bollywood movie, will always win out. And Buriram just that hero. Now the numbers disadvantage for Aurora. Buriram goes in for the finisher. Falling shot, Wasana and 590. Perfection, get high with a backup. And Wasana cleans up the house. Pulling away. 13 eliminations in totality, but now they're going to be pressured from the back. Gun Dynasty spotting them out. Loud's in the vicinity as well. And Demon's Pride surviving somehow and finding their way in here.
This is a really great round for them as well, surviving this long. And it's really exciting to see someone as aggressive as Jonah just really get up close and personal and just clean up the area. Shiru will be the one to go down next year. Falcons still putting in that pressure. The rotations are going to be very, very intense. Falcons does have a bit of a zone control to play with, but we are seeing GD come close.
It's Thailand versus LATAM. Who's going to get that #1 spot? Both Gun Dynasty and Buriram, full squad. But Gun Dynasty on that high ground, this can turn into a disadvantage. What is a massive advantage for them right now with a bird's eye view can turn around instantly if someone gets the God nade. It's going to be Benel taking Jazzy out of the side of Demon's Pride. A valiant run here for Demon's Pride is not going to be good enough to break them out of the 12th spot just yet. As we're left with 4 squads in the final circle. Loud, still Loud out there looking for their 3rd booyah of the day.
Doesn't it feel like deja vu how they have been able to hold on to this top side of this compound once again? Now Buriram United forced to just wait this out, taking a lot of damage from the players from the other side here. But Falcons want to go for this fight against GD. Can't do just that. So the most they can do right now is just wait out the utility, wait out the onslaught of bullets coming at them from different areas. Buriram United going to cross by, taking a lot of damage from the other teams.
Yeah, big brain play, man. 3-time world champs for a good reason. Good call by Captain Jonah. The rotation is solid. They've got the compound cover and they will not get tagged up. And now they stand a good chance of walking away with the booyah here. It's all about positioning supremacy. And now the circle is going to be pressuring 2 teams. It's Falcons as well as Gun Dynasty. Gun Dynasty still on fire with the most number of eliminations in this lobby. Can they break the record set here by Buriram on Kalahari? 23 eliminations plus the booyah for 35 cracker points.
Yeah, they're forced out into the open where Falcons decide to take advantage of this situation. If you won't come to us, you will cross into our crosshairs. Falcons, clean up house. Gun Dynasty out of the game. We're down to only 3.
Falcons not even giving us a lot of time to think about what the answer for that question was going to be. They say, hell no, Mustachio. We take them out of the equation. Buriram, though, still alive and kicking. But Loud, can they withstand this ambush now? Buriram taking the fight straight up to them. Valindash still active on the side of Osana. M590 looking for the connection. And he's also got the AWM. Takes the high ground advantage first. And Loud now left right behind them. What a rotation by Buriram.
Yeah, Buriram United is just so aware of how exactly things are going to go. Now, they have a lot of space to work with. They're aware of where the players are going to be here. But Pina jumps through, lands the shot, not able to. And now they want to take the fight too loud. They're stuck, trapped, very, very low HP. Jumps away. The damage is there on fire. Zane is just so good. Trap, gone down already. And Guaka as well. What are you going to do when you crush from so many different angles?
Taken out of the equation. Falcons, that was the Moco gameplay right there, giving them all the information they needed. And now it's gonna be your global finals champions taking on the EWC 2024 champs. And Buriram, Jonah shutting down Pina with the AWM up close and personal. Looking for the final player, Kororo looking for that recovery. And they will be denied as Buriram pulls away the 3rd booyah of the day to take the #1 spot on the leaderboard.
It is incredible looking at Buriram United. Not only are they so confident playing with that playbook play, they don't have to really worry about anything. Positioning is key, and from that, the rest of the eliminations and the fights just flow to them as well. Patient as hell and okay with giving away that space.
I didn't even look at the YouTube chat today, but I am damn sure, I am 300% sure everybody would have been saying, washout squad, Buriram can't do well, blah, blah, blah. We've heard that rhetoric so many times because they've started off the day with 13 points in game 1 at Bermuda, 12 points at Solara, but what a way to wrap up their 6 games. They broke their own record of 27 points at Kalahari. The match that we just saw ended on game 5, and then here at Nextera, they cleaned up house as well for a back-to-back 3 Booyah Day to just show everyone that this time EWC, the championship is going their way. But it's not done just yet. It's just day one. This is just a preview of the first stage.
Yeah, and it's really exciting because you do this well on day one. You're gonna ride that high into day two.
Yeah.
And most importantly, you are going to put a big gap between you and your team, which allows you a bit more space to make some mistakes.
And you have to also acknowledge the fact that this was the group that was dubbed the group of
Yeah.
We have so many Titans in here, and to clean up a lobby full of Titans, I mean, mad respect to the 3-time world champs, man. 2 times they've been here already on the Esports World Cup stage, but maybe the previous time the heat at Riyadh was just a tad bit too high. They did complain about the heat in Paris as well, but I'll have to say it's nothing compared to the desert sands of Riyadh.
Yeah, for real. As we come into this game as well, I think what's really exciting to see about them is the fact that not only are they the type of team that really took their time in map number 1, but you can start to see really amp and get more comfortable as most of these maps come by. You start to see Moshi, you start to see Jonah, you start to see Wasana just really step up, able to take up space. And most importantly, there's a lot of support and trust with each other for them to really go all in on these fights.
Yeah, but I have to say, Falcons, man, what a game here on the final one at Nextera to pull away 22 eliminations. This was by far their best game of the day. I mean, prior to this match, the most number of points they pulled away was at Solara with 17 points, and their second best was just 13 points. But they just finished Nextera with a 31 bomber. So if you are a Falcons fan, this is exactly what you want for yourself, right? For them to show everyone that they're still alive and kicking. But I mean, am I sad for EVOS? Not really, right? Because at the end of the day, I think they still will be able to hold on to their top 4 spot. They didn't manage to wrap the day up with the Booyah. As a matter of fact, it's only the one that they pulled away at Solara that they looked the strongest on. Purgatory, I thought they were about to pull away a back-to-back, but you know, it just wasn't their day. We're gonna have a little interview here with the Buriram Esports player, so we'll throw you guys onto that. Tash and I will catch you guys tomorrow.
Hello everyone, we are back on stage. I'm Carol Bombshell and I'm happy to be here with this beautiful lady, Lacey. And we got Wasana from Buriram team here. Let's talk with him some very interesting things. Okay, so last year Buriram didn't perform as well as we expected, as the audience expected, and especially your own team at AWC 2025. How does this affect your team to come here this year?
ก็ใน EWC 2025 นะครับ performance ของทั้งของน้องวัฒนาฮะแล้วก็ทีมบุรีรัมย์เนี่ยค่อนข้างออกไปในทางด้านของน่าผิดหวังอะฮะไม่ว่าในเรื่องของ performance แล้วก็ทั้งตัวผู้เล่นเองแล้วก็หรือว่าทางผู้ชมก็ตามคิดว่ามันมีผลต่อ performance ของเราในปีนี้บ้างยังไงบ้างไหมฮะ
ขออีกรอบได้ไหมครับ
performance ของเราในปี EWC 2025 ครับผมมันค่อนข้างออกไปทางน่าผิดหวังอะฮะคิดว่ามันมีผลอะไรกับในปีนี้บ้างไหมฮะ
ผมว่าน่าจะตอนนั้นน่าจะแบบว่าเล่นไม่ได้เองเฉยๆครับแบบเหมือนยังอยู่ในช่วงที่แบบฟอร์มตัวเองไม่ได้ดีด้วยคิดว่าก็ถึงแล้วผมจำคำถามไม่ได้
Okay, let me repeat it again for you. No worries. ในปี EWC 2025 ครับผม performance ของทางน้องวัฒนาแล้วก็ในตัวทีมบุรีรัมย์เนี่ยฮะค่อนข้างออกไปทางน่าผิดหวังนะฮะคิดว่ามันมีผลอะไรบ้างกับปีนี้ครับผม
สำหรับผมว่ามันก็แบบเหมือนเราพลาดก็เหมือนให้ประสบการณ์กับเรามากกว่าครับก็มันทำให้แบบปีนี้เราโตขึ้นด้วยแบบมีประสบการณ์มากขึ้นว่าโอเคเราเล่นแบบนั้นไม่ได้นะเล่นแบบนี้ไม่ได้ใช่เหมือนแบบเป็นประสบการณ์ให้เรามากกว่าครับในช่วงที่แบบมันน่าผิดหวัง
Yeah, I think in EWC 2025 we are quite underperformance below our standard, but with that failure we study through it and we think that we study from the failure. That's what made it to EWC 2026 performance.
Wow, amazing. Great answer, Wasana.
Well, I mean, you've turned things around now because let's forget about 2025 because we are here in 2006 and you guys have done such an incredible performance. Now, Wasana, I want you to talk us through match number 5 when your team was in a 1v1 against AGAL, probably your biggest competitor in this lobby. How did that make you guys feel?
ก็อยากสอบถามในแมตช์ที่5นะครับในเกมที่5ในตอนที่เรา เล่นแข่งต้อง 1v1 กับตัว AGAL นะฮะตอนนั้นมีอะไรเข้ามาในหัวบ้างครับ
ก็แบบว่ามันไหลมาทั้งเกมแล้วครับพอเจอไฟนั้นต่อให้แบบเราจะเสียเปรียบตอนเหลือ 4-3 แล้วก็มุมมันดีกว่าด้วยตอนนั้นไม่ได้คิดอะไรเลยเพราะว่าในทีมมันแบบใจมันกำลังมากันทุกคนเลยใช่ครับ
Yeah, I think we just like go with the flow of the game, and it's like I think we have a better angle, so that's what lead to the final result.
Okay, amazing. Okay, Wasana, for us to finish, I'm very curious to know about the teams that have threatened you this today, because we have like top 5 teams in Group A that are doing very well, and I want to know which teams can be a threat for Buriram.
ก็ในผลของการแข่งขันวันนี้นะฮะก็ท็อป 5 ตอนนี้เนี่ยก็ค่อนข้างผลออกมาค่อนข้างแบบว่าชัดเจนแล้วนะฮะคิดว่าในท็อป 5 เนี่ยฮะทีมไหนเป็นทีมที่ค่อนข้างน่ากลัวที่สุดในมุมมองของบุรีรัมย์ครับ
คือสำหรับผมทีมไทยน่ากลัวหมดทุกทีมแบบผมให้ทีมไทยเป็นเต็งหนึ่งทุกรายการเลยสำหรับผม
Yeah, in my opinion, every single Thai team in this tournament is like one of the scariest teams. So I would say like every Thai team.
ใช่
Only Thai?
เราด้วยครับ
Brazil! I knew it.
Well, I mean, look, all these teams have had an exceptional day today, but of course, you know, Buriram United, and we are here with Wasana, and you have showcased absolute brilliance throughout this entire match, and I feel like other teams should be scared. You should not be scared of any Brazil teams at this moment, you know, especially Loud. I know she's going to hate me after this one, but congratulations again on today's performance, and especially in that last match where you've just completely taken over, you know, the top of the leaderboard there. But I think, you know, we're going to get things off running. We're going to take a short little moment and, of course, be back with some more exciting Free Fire.
Human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
If there was any question, the reigning champions of the Free Fire World Series Global Finals 25 showed up today because they got 3 booyahs. Not just 1, not just 2, 3. Honestly, we were talking about consistency early on, right, Neptune? I don't think we were expecting this type of consistency.
I do agree. I mean, it's at some point, even in Southeast Asia, Garena doesn't show up this much in the first day. But I think with the failure they have, and it was mentioned in the interview as well, they failed so many times before, and they don't want to risk it. They just want to bring the numbers. So that's 3 out of 6, and a back-to-back to boot.
I mean, Husky, how are you feeling about this squad?
I think, you know, BRU, like Neptune has said, right, usually on day one, they are the slower team. They're the team that goes into the science lab, they do a bit of litmus test, figure out the variables, come up with a hypothesis, and then they figure out how to win from the day 2 onwards. But maybe because we only have 2 days of group stage, they decide to come in, you know, nitro charge, kick in the gear 5, and just take over the lobby, which brings me back to BRU back in 2022 at their prime, where every single round, they are always going all out.
And I'm gonna go with you this one, Lucifer, because Team Falcons, I mean, this squad didn't look like they were gonna show up today. And on the final game, they definitely showed up.
I think it took some time for them to recover in the earlier games while we ended up seeing Gun Dynasty. They picked up big time. I think out of the box of a surprise, Gun Dynasty and especially Benel, he went all out. We saw his amazing hits coming through. He was the storm today that nobody was prepared for.
And I'm looking at 5th place, Loud Snickers. I mean, they ended up with 2 booyahs, but being that many points away from Buriram, yeah, you are kind of close and you are outside of the top 4. Remember, the top 4 after tomorrow will be going directly to the Champions Rush Finals. How are we feeling about this squad?
I don't know. I mean, for loud stickers, I think they have the numbers. They brought in the consistency. They can get, 3, if not 4 out of 6 games that they can get in top 12. It's more of the elimination that they're not getting. They are still playing it slow. And I was expecting in the beginning, yes, that was strategy. But even towards the end, because of how aggressive everyone is right now, the warm-up is over. Like, first 2 games, the warm-up is over, and they was just stunned. They don't know what to do because there's a lot of teams waiting for them to final circle.
I mean, teams that needed to warm up but weren't really warming up how we expected them to are currently on the second page. Lucifer, we're looking at Team Apex Gaming. You're 43 points. Right now, I think they're going to have to start changing their mentality from going directly to the grand finals to now just wanting to go to survival.
I agree completely on that. I think Team Apex Gaming, they need that little momentum shift, which is not seen yet. But one thing did happen. There was a little surge that we ended up seeing where Shoto went on a head-on with Falcons, got that win. I think that has to happen a lot more frequent, and that is the reason when you asked me earlier, I was mentioning that Tag will pick it up, but doubtful if today, because it is not an environment that they're used to. So now that they've finally had a taste of the Esports World Cup stage, they might pick it up tomorrow and might have a small challenge towards the top 4.
Oh, I know. India, especially Tag fans. Tag on top would love that. And I mean, we're looking at Evos, the reigning champions at EWC. Husky, they started off hot and they were consistent, but they just weren't able to meet what Buriram was able to do.
Yeah, but I think, for a lot of EVOS fans, this is considered better than what we've seen in the past almost 1 full year since 2025. After they won Riyadh, they had quite the slump. They went through a lot of challenges, and we even heard them talking during the interviews that they are just trying to figure things out. They're trying out different styles. So we came into today not expecting EVOS to do it that well. We were expecting them maybe to finish the top 6, and then maybe tomorrow they turn it up. But to finish in 4th place and have consistent booyahs, or at least getting one booyah, just one booyah, is already above beyond the expectations we have.
And it's kind of scary too, I mean, for some of these squads that are performing the way that they currently are, because we talked about it earlier too, right? We talked about how some of these squads are just compacting and making sure that the top is very top heavy in regards to points, sponging a lot of those points from the bottom teams. And somebody needs to do something tomorrow to make sure they stop them. We had one team with 3 booyahs, one team with 2 booyahs, and another one with 1. I mean, you need to find a way to get those booyahs.
The thing though, despite of not getting booyahs, we're looking at Gun Dynasty as well as AGAL. I mean, no booyahs, no problem for the moment, for this stage, because they have been consistent in getting all those eliminations, especially with Gun Dynasty. They have been proactive every time, every match, and even if there's a risk, they have already stacked up a lot of those eliminations already and all those points. Although this first 6 games that I think they're risking, they can risk at least 1 game to go down, and then following, they will still have that top.
Yeah, I think even coming into this, right, the meta has shifted more towards prioritizing sniper players. We've seen the ability Skylar and Morse being more of the popular ones, and we have some great standout sniper players today. Benel from Gun Dynasty, Limin-X7 from Team Falcons, Moshi, of course, from BRU. Rasha is on his game today, and a lot of these highlight clips actually came from these sniper players.
I know you've been wanting to talk about the squads, and I'm so glad you guys joined me, especially you too, Lucifer. By the way, for everybody paying attention, we are changing people around, and don't worry, Lucifer and Husky will still be around because they're actually going to get to cast on the second series that's going to be coming up. Make sure you stay tuned. We're currently just wrapping up here Group Series 1, which was none other than Group A. Any surprises, right? You talk about AG. We've talked about maybe Falcons being able to step it up, and we talk about Tag not really being able to wake up. Whether it's good or bad, I want you to tell me one team that surprised you, and it's okay if it's bad.
I think, to be honest, Gun Dynasty is something that everybody is winging for, because none of us thought that they will be going outright like that, coming out from Latam and now picking up pace like this against Gens from the Southeast Asia, they've done big. And especially this group was most of the toughest teams out there in the lot of the 24. And they've been the biggest surprise. And adding on to that of how loud they've gotten their booyahs and how they've been on a stretch, starting off in the very first game, I think that's where we have those highlights and surprises on day one itself.
Yeah, for everybody currently watching, I mean, I want you to keep in mind, top 4 will be moving to the finals tomorrow once we play an extra 6 matches here for Group A. But this is what I'm talking about, that group heavy. How that top is just going to be sponging up those points. You can start seeing now a bit of the discrepancy, even though we'll have 6 more games. Now, one team from you that you were kind of surprised whether it was good or bad, Neptune.
Well, I would say Team Falcon, because I was not expecting them to slowly build it up. Again, similar to what we've seen Evo C5. We talk about Evo C5. They're, and we're United, they're one of the team who doesn't want to show their full potential. But I guess they're trying to shift in 2nd, 3rd gear. Not the 5th gear, as you mentioned, for United Husky, but just his 3rd gear, just enough to stay afloat for another day.
Well, Husky, I mean, we don't want to say that 5th gear just yet from Brewer. Save it for the finals. But what is one team that you definitely need to see that 5th gear, especially coming in tomorrow?
I gotta talk about Aurora Gaming, right? Malaysia, it's the last time a Malaysian team has been on the international stage was 4 years ago, back in Free Fire World Series in Bangkok, Thailand. And ever since then, we have missed out even in regional tournaments. So to make it back onto the world stage at EWC 26 and the first appearance for them as well is a big moment for Malaysia. Of course, you can see the jitters in them. There were definitely some moves that even I was questioning, like, what are we doing here? But I believe in them, right? I think Aurora is a team that even if they don't make it to the finals by tomorrow, they will have a decent chance in survival.
Okay, well, hey, tomorrow, if you want to be able to even go to survivals, make sure you wake up. You could see it. You could hear it in the background. And those are the loud fans starting to get ready, because that's right, ladies and gentlemen, Group B is going to be coming up. So stay tuned, because you're actually seeing as your casters. And thank you so much, boys, for joining us. I appreciate it. Lucifer, Neptune, you're going to be stuck with me the whole time. And Husky, make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What would you do with $75 million?
I would travel the world, I would invest, I know a bit of a boring answer, and I would help people when I can. I'll buy things for my family.
A house for my mom. Yeah. Invest so I keep some money for the future.
Everyone's just out here saying, oh, I'd spend it on my family, I would invest it smartly in smart enterprises. We need Americans, because Americans will come out here and be like,
I buy 10 Ferraris, bruh.
What if I say that I think you're lying?
I don't know. Do you think I'm lying?
Yes. The first thing that you're gonna do is buy all of the jerseys from your favorite players. I think you're gonna buy 10 fancy cars and go crazy.
Okay, I'm lying.
I would invest it into probably a retirement account.
Why are you such a liar?
I'm a finance major. I just graduated with a finance degree, so.
So don't lie, you're gonna pay off your student loans first.
No, actually I wouldn't.